Hey, good morning, everybody. So, looking at the Wall Street Journal this morning. This one right here. Yikes. Looks like Silvergate is not really declaring bankruptcy, but they're going to close and liquidate. Now, that's, put that aside. Not so great. We're going to talk about that a little bit, what that means. And welcome, everybody. Looks like Kimberly is on a field trip, and George and Goose. What's up, Dave? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Al. Morning. Morning, everybody. I know there's we've been averaging about 60 people on here, maybe 60 to 80 every morning. So welcome, everybody. Feel free to use the chat and chat with me. I'm open to looking at other things that might be moving. I don't want to just take requests, but I'll check out whatever might be moving. If you got one moving, let me know you think it's moving. And I'll check it out. So, as always, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. And we'll talk about Silvergate here in a minute and what that was a bummer. Anyway, this presentation, informational, educational, and fun, may be valuable, and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument, anything out there, even my stuff. Don't buy or sell it. If you don't, I mean, it's up to you. Anyway, if you desire personal financial advice, hire a consultant financial advisor. There is a link in the description if you do want to join me in Discord. We got lots of stuff happening, and I got some charts I want to talk about. I've got to pop those up here because I was a slacker and got tied up in the getting the paper out. Let's see. And back to Discord. Get the other one. We'll pop these out. I need to talk about them. So, first off, Silvergate. That was kind of a warning flag when Coinbase decided to stop doing transfers with them. And they've been negotiating with the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission in the United States, to continue operations. And last night, after the market closed, they announced they were going to close down operations and liquidate. If you have a long or a short, I recommend you get out before they stop trading and delist. I don't usually give advice, but if things are going to liquidate and delist, it's better to be out while it's still trading than to be sitting there after it goes into liquidation wondering what's going to happen with your money. So just want to throw that out there. I have gotten stuck in bankruptcy liquidation things before. It's not pleasant. It's not fun. And it ties up your capital indefinitely. A lot of times the broker is not even on your side to help you figure out how to, what's happening. So eventually the position will get unwound. How long that takes, there's no time limit. There's no timeline. I mean, somebody has a timeline, but be careful. So if you're on Silvergate in any form or fashion, I recommend you close out any options, anything you have. GTFO. If you're not sure what GTFO is, go Google it. Anyway, let's talk about something more pleasant here. My 3-day chart. Check it out. So this move up was a bummer, but we got a 618 retrace. It is held, and we have potential to go higher. This is not a live chart. This is a snapshot of yesterday's close. A little bit of green doji. These are 3-day candles, so let's see where it goes. Now, looking at a snapshot I did just before I went live. This was yesterday's rally into the close. I commented to my buddy Sticks, one of my side chats, that overnight I would love to see a retrace, which is what we had right there. 3 waves down, right into about 5 o'clock this morning. We got a bounce, a retrace into about 8:30 when the unemployment numbers came out. We came in with a high unemployment, higher than the market was expecting, and we've got this straight up rally. This looks like a wave 3 right here. This kind of price action, this pop, that is wave 3. This is very impulsive type price action. We need to see it make a 4.5 and a 4.5. Potentially could see it up to this 40-50 area before we get another bigger retrace. So just keep that in mind. Watch out on that. This is like a 1, 2. This is off of the low yesterday at 2 p.m. That was the ultimate low so far. We had the 1, 2. This is a potential 3 right up in here. We're looking for it to move up to around this 40.22. It can extend. This one is extending. Can extend all the way up to here to like 40.50, and then the 4, and it just pushes everything higher. So if we're gonna go full bull, tilt this thing, just watch out. Like, it can get more bullish than my conservative counts here. All right. So kind of jumping back around, we can look at the calendar here. Like I was talking about, jobs. Well, let's refresh that because something weird happened. Yeah, we had a kind of a spike on the unemployment there. Unexpected. Wasn't super hot. I mean, 195 to 211. I mean, that's like, historically, the economy churns about 250 to 300,000 jobs a week. That's, pre-COVID, we used to churn that. That's just kind of the natural flow when you have about 350 million people in your country. The dum-dums that get fired every week, along with people quitting, or for whatever reason, they're able to try and file unemployment claims. We tend to churn about 250 to 300,000 a week. That's just the churn. So we've been running on the light side here, down at 200. And, I mean, you can see it, ebbing and flowing right in that zone. So 211 is not really any kind of surprise. Not to me. So, anyway, I probably, let's see. Yeah, so, I can look at Aresta here in a minute. So, it's not on my list, I don't think. Let's just kind of hit with a few things here. S5FI down here in the reversal zone. I was talking to Goose, who is on the chat yesterday, that this is kind of the point where we can see a violent reversal higher out of. Now the historical low point is generally 20, and when we poke below that, usually we get a strong move all the way back up to 80. But in here, we can just, get a strong move up and keep churning in this zone, like I've been talking about for months now, as we churn higher toward an all-time high. Now, a breakdown below 20 is going to indicate that something else is playing out potentially. And we don't stay in the bottom of this chart very long. I mean, look, we don't hang out any one place on this chart. We tend to oscillate from the bottoms to the tops, to the bottoms, to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. And then that was kind of like an indicator that something was awry. We poked out. We didn't make it all, we didn't break back to the top, and then we poked out to the bottom. So it's kind of the tail of what happens here. So 2020, you see we rounded the bottom, we popped out the top, and then we kind of churned in this zone, and then we started getting back to the oscillation, of course, right there, extended period, hanging out near the top, and then retrace, and then pop out again. So that's like a double pop out, which led to a rollover back to the bottom. So does kind of tell the story of money flow on the market. This is stocks above the 50-day moving average. Right now we're, at the close yesterday, we were hanging out about 37-ish. So 37% of S&P 500 stocks. So what? Roughly 100? Yeah, something like that. Maybe 150, something like that. Anyway, 37 out of 100 times 5, maybe, I guess 150, 160 stocks out of the S&P 500 were above their 50-day. That leaves all the rest of them below. We'll see what plays out here, though. ES, let's zoom her up, Buttercup. Hanging out at the roadmap line. That's beautiful. That was a 618 retrace. If this thing pops out above this, we can get running. I mean, it's kind of the story here on NASDAQ too. Russell yesterday hit the roadmap line and potentially bouncing now. That was kind of, it seemed like what the market was waiting on was Russell to touch that roadmap line. That was kind of how I wrapped up the session yesterday, talking about the fact we needed this to touch. It poked right down there and touched. Now we're getting a bounce. Now we need continuation higher. That's the big thing we need on the Russell, continuation higher. Can we get it? Time's going to tell. This is all looking very bullish. I am not. Now, in the short term, still cautious, extremely cautious. All right. This has to prove it to us. Like, don't go selling the wife, selling the kids, selling the cars, selling the dog, buying calls on everything. This is not the time for that. This right here is time for caution and wait till the market proves it that we're going higher. All right, we can roll over easily right here. This is like a treacherous spot. So I just want to be clear on that and don't get anybody overly bullish. We're still in a treacherous spot and we're still right in the middle of this consolidation, and we've been going sideways since all the way back here in May. All right, it seems like we've had a heck of a rally here. Well, yeah, we had a heck of a rally off the October low, but if you come over, you just follow the chart to the left, right there, we've been sideways since May. That's almost a whole year going sideways, just consolidating in the market. Does that seem bearish? I mean, it doesn't really seem bearish. It seems like we're kind of building up to the next move. And is the next move up or down? I have bias to up, just because that's a lot of pent-up demand and money. But we could poke down again. So both those are on the table. All right. Just want to make sure. Now, one thing I was talking to Goose about too, there's news stories that 32 states are dropping their supplemental benefits, the emergency benefits for SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, food stamps. If you don't want to use the PC term of SNAP. Anyway, those SNAP benefits are dropping from about $250 per person down to about $20 per person. That's a huge chunk of money going away. And that all takes effect at the end of the month. So in the next 3 to 5 months, I think we're going to see a lot more people coming back to the labor pool that were just kind of floating along. I mean, maybe they weren't, winning life being on SNAP, but they were just kind of floating along, not having to work. I mean, if you could sit at home and get free money and just fart around all day, not spend a lot of money, that sounds pretty good, right? Versus going out and having to work and, the extra economic activity that comes from that too. People that go out and work, they tend to, stop at the gas station, buy cigarettes and beers and, lunch and whatever. So just keep it in mind that that can spark some economic activity and more people in the labor pool. Those missing workers, there's like 6 million working age, 18 to 45 males. There's like 6 million of them just kind of missing out of the workforce. And I think that those SNAP benefits coming off we may see those people show back up. So not saying we will, not saying we won't, just speculating here. All right, let's go back to my other chart that has the candles and hit the dollar. Getting a nice little pullback here. Found resistance. I would love to see this drop all the way back down through. Remember, this was the reversal point from back here in January. So keep an eye on that one. We already talked about SI. So Tesla, caution is advised. Looks like we're going to open below the support resistance line I had on there. That flip point, that can lead us down to here if we don't just reverse back above it. So watch for that. If we get a sustained move back down here, we're probably heading to this zone down here around 45 to 55-ish. I know, Goose, that's not your favorite right there. All right. Is Etsy moving today? Let me know. I'll be glad to look at it, but we're looking for stuff moving today. Apple, potential pop, and as I keep saying, If we break out above those highs, that one can get on a longer term run to 199-ish. JD announcing earnings, getting slammed right there. Looks like they beat on the top, missed on the bottom, probably had a weak outlook. That's China play right there. China's dangerous, as I keep repeating over and over. We can return that one right back to the lows. Let's see if there's any kind of fib line that might provide support. We're at the 618. If we can't hold this prior low right over here, this is the last line in the sand around 4070. We don't get that one, then JD's likely to poke down to this 24 area down here. And it looks like the market just opened. So JD breaks down below that one. It's kind of the line right there. Watch that one. All right. MDB getting a little, just trouble getting through the roadmap line. Holding the lows. Probably going to go back and fill that. The resistance above. And if it starts breaking down more, let's find out where the support is. Probably right down here in this zone. Right in here. BJ's warehouse. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom. And not really moving much. Got resistance right here. If we can get above these highs. Right in there around 75. Also with the roadmap line, that's not quite right because it needs to be down here. Oh, right at the 618. So we get above those highs right there. BJ's can take off. That looks pretty good. Yeah, back above 76. That would be looking for 84 and 80, maybe 89. And it's not a fast mover. That's going to take a few months probably to get up there. PSFE. Yeah. Popping up into the roadmap line. Got to get above these highs over here to get some continuation higher. Let's see. AVXL. More sideways. SAVA. Didn't mean to move the fib lines. Ugh, just more churning. Money's getting expensive and they don't make it. So they lose lots of money. They need something to happen for them. The money keeps getting more expensive and time's a ticking where they can keep in business. SIVB, I think this is Silvergate's bigger group maybe. That one getting slammed pretty hard right there. FSTX, nice pop right at the resistance there. If it can sustain that move, we can see a bigger move up. Looks like we got a few levels where sellers came in, like right in here, and then just above that right in here, and then this massive thing up here, whatever that was. So that's a pharmaceutical biotech. Be careful on that one. ASAN, nice little pop. Got to get it above the roadmap line, and looks like it has resistance right in there, just above us. Not NanoX, NanoX. Looks like it's going in the toilet. Made the list moving up today, but nothing. This one got a lot of work to do. Still below the roadmap line. BBW, Build-A-Bear. Oh, that reporting earnings. I think I saw that. Yeah, beating on the top, beating on the bottom. All these little ones, that's a positive sign for Build-A-Bear. We break out over this, over these highs right there. That one can run like some of the other retailers that, maybe the I don't want to call Build-A-Bear a luxury thing, but let's say the people in the trailer park don't tend to go to Build-A-Bear. So we see that one break out. That's kind of an indication that people with money are still spending money, and pretty healthy, really. This Pink Monster is pretty good, by the way. I really like that flavor. OCAN, more biotech, just sideways. GE, look at that. That's positive. Broke out, getting a run. Looking back here. Oh, yeah, pushing above these highs. That is positive for GE after, heck, it seems like a couple years worth of bull crap. So the next move higher, let's run this really quickly. Could be targeting 102 on GE right up in here. For that next move higher. Positive action there. Roku in the roadmap line. If we can break out, we could get some extension. It's got lots of crap to work through though. Looks like it's got a gap right in here that got left open, and then a hold consolidation underneath that, and this nasty stuff going into the toilet. Most immediately, if it breaks out through, say about 76, that could lead it up to fill that gap potentially. PayPal getting a little pop, still stuck below this downtrend line and the roadmap line. It's got to get above that stuff before we can, before I would even start trying to chase anything on PayPal. It can definitely reach down and hit this lower target down here. EXAS, just consolidating, nothing awesome. And then the last on the list I had was Toro, and that looks like some crazy stuff that I don't have enough data to do anything with. Like 4 candles, just looks like a horrible mess there. All right, ANET, ANET, that's not a big mover. It looks like it's retracing today. It's not a big mover for the day. So not much to say there. It looks like it probably got to the target, and yep, right to the 1272. Watch out for the retrace. That would be what I say right there. Probably coming back down. And Etsy, have a drop today? Yeah, a little bit. Not really gapping anywhere, just retraced. Let's see. Got the right. Yeah, Etsy can come down to this area right here. Right in here. And do a measured bounce setup for that bigger move. That was probably 5 waves up. May come on down before it can get the bigger bounce higher. That's what it looks like it's on the path to do right there. There's a potential support right in where it is, but it needs to hold that if that's like a 1-2-1-2 type situation, but it may come on down. So that's a confusing pattern right at the moment. If it turns up strongly here, it's probably a nested 1-2-1-2. If it comes on down here, it could be a bounce. If it doesn't hold that, then it's probably going lower low, which would be on down here around 50, which is quite a bit of money off of Etsy. All right, that's kind of what's moving today. A little bit long bias, a little bit, but a lot of bit cautious. So if you missed anything I said, you can pull the timeline back, rewind it. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell with the little doodads for notifications when I go live, because I go live at 9:15 every morning, and then 5 p.m. on Tuesdays. I take your requests for at least 30 minutes. Love to have everybody come join me every day, and I'll see you again later on. If you're in Discord, keep up with me all day. I'll be throwing out updates all day long as we work through this thing. If you want to come join me in Discord, links in the description. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Have a great one, everybody.